Good morning and welcome to a new day in open space. Today is Sunday and we'll be sharing our weekly integration morning with you. Fernando Alvarez is here with me again.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to our tech team who are here morning after morning, day after day. Although these days are especially longer because we are at the end of our first presential and online retreat after the long confinement we've had. And many things have happened this week and especially this weekend. We would like to invite everyone who's watching us, especially if you've been to a retreat with us before, especially if you've taken part in this weekend's retreat, either from your home or in one of our epicenters, and you're currently back home, to please participate. Please let us know how you're doing. Please let us know what you would need in form of support in this moment, so that we can perhaps open a space for you to go deeper with us into. How have you lived this first online retreat, presential retreat here in Madrid, Fernando?
It was as we said in the introduction, the first day on Thursday. I felt we opened really a new door to new manners of experiencing our retreats. This was a really interesting way. Actually, we were talking about this room that at the beginning was a toma room. How would you say in English, like for ayahuasca? And now it became a studio, and it's a new way from that perspective already. So everything is different.
It was also a dining room and then supposedly an administration office and then a Toma room and now eventually a studio and a Toma room because we've been doing the nighttime sessions here. Yesterday night, a lot of people did an ayahuasca session after doing a sweat lodge here. And with them, we'll be starting the integration at 11. So if there's anyone that's watching us now who would like to continue after 11, let us know, let Ciro know. And he can either assist you in joining one of the English integrations that are going to be starting at 11. If you feel like you would like a little bit more of comprehension. We have English integrations in Marbella. And I think we have specifically an English-speaking integrator who will be hosting a group of English speakers after 11. I think it's Anna, if I'm not mistaken. It's Anna.
How did you live these 3 days?
I was wondering exactly that. How did I live these 3 days? As something new, as something... I was actually having this sensation of... So the words would be something new, something completely unknown, disoriented, a bit misplaced, like I was never quite sure what I was supposed to be doing or where I was supposed to be, or whether I was not doing something that I was supposed to be doing. And so with a bit of confusion, which at one point just flows anyway. And I was thinking at the same time that that's probably how any newborn feels. Like something's happening. I'm not sure what's happening. I'm not sure what the hell I have to do in this that's now happening. But I'm here.
Yeah.
And the first day especially was a bit confusing. Do you have the link, especially for the people who are online? Did you receive your packs? Yes, great. Do you have the link? No. Oh my God, let's sort that out. I have the link, it's not working. Oh my God, let's sort that out. I have the link, it's working, but where is my translator? Okay, let's go to that. Let's move on. No, I didn't receive my pack. Oh, so do you want to participate without your pack and when you receive it, or we'll figure something out for that? Some people said yes, and they participated only with the the online workshops without taking any of the medicines. And that was really interesting also. And some people participated and they'd received the pack that they'd ordered for one night, but then they decided to do more nights without medicines, only the online workshops. And some people said no. And then they'll wait for the next online retreat. So it's been, and then of course amongst us, how do we react when things are confusing? And somehow, I feel like a lot of everything has happened. At some points, some people were trying to find out why things were not going as they had been organized, or as how theoretically they had to go. And looking for someone to blame, so someone didn't do it. At some other point, people were looking at what didn't I do, and then at some point, at our highest point, this is a learning, this is a teaching, and the next time it will be much better, which is also somehow something that I felt was going to happen anyway, even before we began. So that could be something interesting to open up for everyone, is how do we react, how do we feel when things are not going according to the plan that we had, which was done with the best intention, hoping to have everything covered, and then reality takes over.
For me, in this case, it was very, very interesting. And we said it at the beginning that this is really totally something new. And let's say the risk for us was to start this new project, or this new age, as we say, with the old script, in the sense with the old way of doing retreats. So it's like, well, okay, now we are supposed to do this because we were doing like this, or now we're supposed to do that because we were doing like that before. And I really like, we had kind of a meeting before starting, and we said this: let's open ourselves up to something really new, to go with the flow. It means like we have something in mind, of course, we have a plan, but let's open ourselves up to the possibility of, at that moment, discover something new all the time. So this is something for me was interesting. And as you said, maybe I knew, or I thought that this should happen like this, but it was happening another way. Like yesterday, we did this sweat lodge, as you said, and it was not supposed to be there at that time, but it was beautiful and it was perfect. And then we have the ayahuasca session after the sweat lodge at, I don't know, 12, but normally we did ayahuasca at 8, 9 at night. So it was interesting.
And it was so important to follow the schedule, because there were people at home. And we were going to have a concert. And also, again, what I realized right now when you were talking is that, how do I react? My first reaction is, let's make sure that it wasn't me who fucked up. Let's make sure. So when you said to me, oh, but Alberto was going to be here at 10:30, I said, okay, I'm sure I told them that. So my first reaction was, look, Fed, it does say here 11. And then it's like, okay, I'm off the hook. And then if I'm off the hook, I don't care who messed up, as long as it wasn't me.
Interesting.
So I'm not necessarily going to be looking for people to blame. I'm just going to make sure that it's not my fault. And then after that, I'll sort everything out, and everything will flow.
Okay.
And that's and then, of course, if someone tries to tell me that it was my fault, then I'll strike back.
But it's interesting if we compare that, what you're saying now, with the metaphor, let's say, that you shared before about the baby being born in a new space. It's interesting because it's not his or her fault. There's no plan, but everything is happening, and it's unstoppable, let's say, in the sense like you are there inside of the experience, and it's this is for me that comprehension, let's say, with this new way of doing everything, from the room till the way now we share medicines, the way we share integrations. Now this dispositivo, how would you say it?
This whole
like this, the way now with this studio here with people there in the middle of a retreat, because we are in the middle, kind of at the end of the retreat.
Well, we have facilitators that are now facilitating with this tiny new camera pointing at their face.
Yes, yes.
Also interesting. I want to speak with Vicente and Eric to know how they feel about that, because somehow we've had training for these 2 months in talking in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
But facilitating, which has a very big spontaneous component, is probably something different. But the difference between the baby and me in this case is that I already know that I am to blame. The baby doesn't yet know. So the baby can still try to look at things and saying, wow, okay, I'm going to flow.
With innocent.
With innocent. It's somehow as if the feeling, the possibility of guilt or blame stops you from flowing.
Interesting.
Like maybe in the example that I was saying before in my case, I can flow after I've established that I'm not to blame. Then I can flow.
Wow.
But the first, it's like a block to the flow. It's like a dam, no? Una compuerta. If it's a river that's flowing, it's like first is the dam. Then when that dam is opened, after guilt has been established to not be there, then then everything can flow.
The water flows. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and if there's people watching us at this moment, it would be really interesting if they can share about this. How do you feel when you really are aware that you are inside of something new? Because we are always actually inside of something new, but sometimes we think we are, okay, we know what's going to happen now. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have breakfast. I'm going to go to work. And then after this confinement, everything really, I mean, as I said before, everything was changing always, but now we're really aware of, we are inside of something new. And I like what you say about reaction or action, how we behave in this context.
Ciro, do we have any comments, questions?
No, for now, only comment.
Okay.
Comment.
And then I don't know if I would like to share something about yesterday with Alberto, but maybe I'm gonna move a bit of the topic. Yesterday we had a broadcast with Alberto Varela, and he presented. We were talking about the lie, the lie and the truth, but basically the lie. And something that really moved me was that he was saying that he had his glasses on his hand as an example, saying some people cannot see this. Even if you tell them, here I have something, or and he was saying, even if you tell someone that he or she did something, that person is not able to observe, to be aware of it. So then somehow we were relating this lie with reality. So someone creates, I create my own reality, you create your own reality based on your experience. So even if then after that I come and I tell you, no, but here I have something, if this is going to change your reality, the mechanism does everything for you in order not to see this, in order not to change your reality. Are you following? More or less?
I am, and I'm wondering, regardless of my mechanisms that are naturally going to arise to push away the new or the change, how can you know that what you have is the truth if you've also created your own reality based upon your own lies?
Yeah, actually, what in this case, in yesterday emission, what was happening is like, it was not about the truth, so thank you for that, but it's like when everyone around you is aware that the way you behave, because in this community we are living in, someone just leaves the cup, for example, on the table and goes, and we also observe that behavior, and then maybe we can approach and say, you forgot the glass. And that person didn't see, or maybe at that moment was, no, that was not me, it was, you have like a, how do you say, como una excuse?
An excuse, yeah.
You have an excuse, no, it was not me, or la la la. And what Alberto said is, when someone is given an excuse for a behavior that we are all observing, it's because that observation would change that person's reality. This is something was, so it's living in this lie, which is a reality. And what for me was important was this connection between reality and the lie. Not because there is one truth, you know what I mean? For me, it was really connected with what we're going to continue talking this afternoon. It's the original wound, the mechanism, and the I. So it's how we are living in our own reality, in our own script/lie, and that we prevent ourselves from, okay, no, it's like unconsciously we're saying, stop, I'm gonna take it slowly. I will see it one day. Now I can't somehow.
I was also reading the messages this morning that Iris sent to the I don't remember which chat, probably the Conscious School chat or something, about last night's broadcast. And I was again having the same question, but not so much regarding me when I receive what someone else says, because I'm very aware that in my case, my first mechanism is to say yes, but, or no, no, but it's a very mechanical reaction, and it doesn't keep me from then integrating or receiving what the person says. It's like a filter. Like inside I'm receiving, but outside I have to say no. But which is again a hindrance for the flow, like the guilt. But then the flow or whatever it is that has to happen happens. But when I have something that I say, listen, I'm seeing this so clearly, but I have a lot of resistance to going to you maybe and saying, I'm seeing this so clearly that I'm sure it's the truth. Because I always have at the back of my head this idea of, how do I know that I'm seeing this so clearly? If what I'm seeing is already being seen by someone who wants to see things in a certain way. And because of my confusion or my insecurity or uncertainty in sharing what I see with clarity and being able to have authority with what I'm seeing, it weakens, it loses any strength when I'm going to give it to you or share it with you. And I can see how my mind is trying to look for a mechanism, like a truth, how would you say? A mechanism to know when the truth is the truth and not the lie somehow, or the reality. It's like, how can I know? And then I went immediately to because if there's many people that are seeing the same thing as I'm seeing, then...
Yeah.
I thought Ciro was going to share something. But
me too.
Yes.
Because I was from Owen.
2 months after we learned how to say his name.
Can memories of all guilt and shame block or flow?
Again.
Can...
Hi. Hi.
It's not working?
Yes? Yes. Owen says, can memories of our guilt and shame block or flow? And also he says later, my dreams are made of sand. Well, I said, my dreams are made of sand, which burns and turns to glass, and though they are held in hands, they fall and shatter in a thousand shards. Yes. And even say, I don't feel safe where I am from at this time, but I have responsibilities here. I'd like to go somewhere else, but I'm tied here. What should I do?
This whole week, we're going to be opening a space and submerging ourselves in the topic of freedom. And I highly recommend. Did you say Elvan? Ivan following this week's broadcast, because my feeling from what he's asked, or the question that he's asked, is that you have not yet found that internal space within you where you feel free and you feel safe. And it has nothing to do with where you're geographically located or the ties that you have or the responsibilities you have that are external to you. It has to do with an internal space where you still feel enslaved to something or to someone, but to comprehend what it is that you feel enslaved or tied to, we would have to go probably very deep. And I don't feel that this is the space for it, because it's something that's delicate and that needs to be treated with a lot of respect and delicacy. It's not just giving a blunt answer of saying, oh, free yourself from this or cut yourself from that, because it's not a how that can have a mechanical reply. But by all means, please follow this week's topic, because I have a feeling that it's going to be very, very rewarding for you. And precious, in the sense that you'll be able to find your own answers within you, and hopefully also your own internal space of freedom.
And then so Owen, I didn't remember it exactly, but he was saying something like guilt block the flow.
I think it was can memories of old
of guilt and shame block or flow.
I'm not sure I understand what he means about blocking or flowing.
Yeah, I don't know. I connected with something, but actually thank you for that, because I don't know if it's his intention. But what came to me now is like, so either shame or guilt. It's I felt like it's at this moment, in the only moment we have, actually, the present moment. I have the conclusion. I am keeping the conclusion that something should have happened differently in the past. So that's why at this moment I am using, let's say, the energy of guilt or shame as a mechanism to tolerate, let's say, the idea that it shouldn't happen like it did, something like this. This is what I felt when you were reading. I don't know if this is Owen perspective or intention, but this is
maybe he could share a little bit more.
Yeah. And again, going with the topic of the lie and the reality, and what Owen now shared, it's yesterday Alberto was saying again the same thing, because he repeats the same thing in different ways
for 5 years.
Yes, for 5 years now, is that the phrase loyalty to the past. So I will continue sustaining or keeping an idea or conclusion or belief about myself because of loyalty to the past, loyalty to the experience that I had. And I'm gonna close myself up if I have this intention of being attached to an experience that was in the past and is not here anymore. So that's why when we started today broadcast this, and the question was, how did you live these 3 days of online and on-site retreat? I experienced this, like, okay, I'm not in that moment anymore. I'm not in the way we used to do retreats. It's a new way, it's a new manner, it's a new situation, totally new. So for me, this is the discovery and the comprehension that I wanted to share. And I don't know if Owen added something. Okay.
He says, I agree, but he doesn't say anything more.
Okay.
For now.
Thank you.
What I've also been seeing, and I don't know if this will have something to do with what Owen asked, when for the past 5 years I've done a lot of retreats, and I've thoroughly enjoyed all of the retreats. They've always been amazing once in them. But in several occasions, especially before, sometimes after, and very occasionally, very, very seldom, but occasionally during the retreat, I was moved by a lot of self-demand, wanting an amount of perfection out of everything that was happening, and of presence that more than presence could even become control, because of wanting everything to go so perfectly and flow so wonderfully. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of self-demand where I was everywhere at the same time. And somehow that was part of my script. Probably in almost everything that I endeavor. And I do feel that I'm in I'm not going to say a very different space, but let's say in a different space. Mm-hmm. Somehow I feel that me being in that different space has created friction with some parts of some people who were still in the same old script, wanting somehow for me to still be in the same old script. So there was a friction where it was, oh, but you're not present. Mm-hmm. I am present. I'm just not present in the same way. I'm there. Mm-hmm. If you need anything, let me know. I will be there. But it's interesting how when you've been selling a manner. I was going to say exactly, when you've been selling a manner or a way of being that people have bought, that's not you, and it's definitely not you, and it's not natural, and it's not flowing at all, and it's not trusting at all. When something changes internally, the person who bought it feels ripped off. Yeah. Feels like you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. But then when you ask, okay, tell me exactly what the problem is, there's like a blank. Yeah. I don't know what the problem is, but you're not present. Okay, but tell me, where do I have to be present in this moment? Yeah. I have a long list. Okay, give me things. I want to solve it. Mm-hmm. Please let me know. Mm-hmm. Blank. Oh, you're not ready to listen. Yeah, interesting. It's this friction that's created when things start to shift, and I have a feeling that's probably happening to a lot of us also here, where we've been used to an old way of doing things, and we've been used to certain people always taking charge and leading, but from that shitty place of demand and self-demand. And what's opening up here is a new manner where everyone has the opportunity of becoming responsible by themselves, without demand and without self-demand.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to go to one side and truly not be present. And it's very easy to go to the other side and continue demanding for things to be the same, or not, when nothing is the same. I mean, you know, we're
but
we're
keeping
in a
that
studio.
idea, yeah. And actually, we said it actually so far many times in this open space in Spanish, in Italian, in English, that we have this belief about ourselves. We sell it, as you said, to others, and then we are all responsible of keeping that image. It's not just me, but it's all of us keeping my image alive or your image alive. And when, of course, it changes, but then actually Michela was the first sharing this experience in Italian, in this open space in Italian, that when she moved, something like this, I think she went to Colombia, and when she came back, she was totally different. And all her friends and family was trying to remind her how she was, how she used to be, and what they were all expecting from her. And she was in another situation, totally different. So it's not just me and, okay, now I want to change, or I did something at a retreat, so I'm gonna, it's also your environment that is affected, let's say. And
and also it's a shift of where responsibility lies, like true responsibility. Because sometimes you'll find people who want you to still be the irresponsible ones that make them feel like they are superhuman and have to take responsibility for everything. And sometimes they still want you to be that person who takes responsibility for everything to avoid responsibility. So it can be to uphold any kind of image.
Yeah.
Either the one that I have to do everything because otherwise it doesn't get done, or I don't have to do anything because someone's going to take responsibility for it. So this is like a total shift in the gears. Yeah, and I can see that it's challenging for many people. Shifting the gears of responsibility. Of what wasn't really responsibility. It was something else. And what maybe wasn't irresponsibility either, but also something else. Because maybe we've been holding an idea of what and who was responsible and what and who was irresponsible, but it wasn't reality. It was a reality created by many lies, many ways of looking. Ciro wants to say something?
Yeah. We have several comments. Francesca says, thanks, Laura. I resonate with what you share. Rebecca says, I think loyalty to the past and to our family can prevent us from flowing freely from our aesthetic self, whether it's from guilt or any other result of our script. And Owen say, I feel guilt and shame for not fitting the old script others expect me to continue fulfilling. And we have Deborah. Deborah says, I caught myself in a very strong life script repetition, which has opened up a whole new internal discussion. This one loyalty to the past embedded insidiously, which very very complex words, insidiously, which has caused 100 cans of worms and predetermined some incredible detours and sideshows in my life. So now I am in a no man's land without this script guidance. It's actually very exciting. Deborah.
I would like to know a little bit more about what Deborah has shared.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see if she actually dares. And maybe at some point for the Sunday mornings, it would be possible to invite people as hosts when they. But if we'll have to see if we can do it spontaneously, because sometimes people have questions that writing is not really going to create the flow, the interaction. But Deborah, and I'm not sure which Deborah it is, but I have an idea of who this Deborah could be. I would definitely like to know a little bit more about this script, this pattern that you found yourself repeating, and at what happened thereafter. So if you can share a little bit, we can deepen into it now. And if you would like to share it with the rest, maybe more people are also curious. Because sometimes there is also the danger that if you're the one to catch your own script, it is the script writer that's catching the script, and it's the same script writer that's going to write a new script, or it's the same script writer that's going to say, now I have no script, but that is still a part of the old script. If that makes any way of some confusing sense. That's why it's always very valuable to share with others, because they might catch you out and you'll realize that it's still the same person internally handling everything, getting rid of the old script so that you can believe that you're now in a new script, but you're still in the old one because you're still under the same script writer. Like some authors, you can read all of their books and then never remember which one fell under which title. Sometimes it happens with amazing authors. I love Paulo Coelho, for example. I love him. But there is such a script in all of his books that I can't really remember which story goes under which title. Except the new ones, which are different, but the first ones. And they're all amazing books, and he's a wonderful writer.
And when you read those first comments, when Rebecca and I don't remember another one.
Francesca.
No, Francesca was saying thank you, I resonate, but it was about the loyalty to the past. Also, yesterday we were developing here with Alberto this idea, let's say, about how we behave because we think that that's the way people are going to love us. So we touched the word love, and it's and then a door opened to the possibility of considering that I may not know what love is. So if, for example, I am behaving in a way as loyalty to the past, if there's something there, for sure there is, that it's because I'm scared of people stop loving me. Like my family stop loving me, my friends stop loving me, or my colleagues at work, like in the way like they're not going to ask me, or they're not going to see me as the responsible one, which is love at the very bottom of the conclusion. Maybe, and that's the thing that I wanted to share, maybe I don't know anything about love. I mentioned the word, I used the word love, but maybe I don't know anything about love, what really love is. And Alberto suggested that we may change the word love by unconditionality.
Because, of course, the way in which we use the word love, or this idea about what we do and what we don't do, it's not love really it is love what we're looking for, but it's love based upon our original wound.
Yeah.
So at the bottom we could say, It's not whether you're going to love me or not. Are you going to accept me or are you going to reject me?
Yeah.
Are you going to abandon me or are you going to stay with me?
Yeah.
Because depending on what you answer, I'm going to sell you this character or this character. Or this. Who do you prefer, the responsible one or the irresponsible one? The present or the absent? Which one makes you come closer?
Yeah.
Then that's exactly the character that I'm going to sell to you. That's why one same person can be seen as so many different persons by different people. Because I'm going to sell you one character, him one character, and him one character.
Yeah.
If I sell the irresponsible character to Giovanni, I know he's not going to accept me. For sure. Because that's not what he's looking for.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah. If I sell it to, to someone else, it might create an alliance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I want this irresponsible. Hey, come on, let's go for a run together. Let's sneak away.
Yeah.
And then you'll feel like you're accepted.
Yeah.
But it's
very interesting what you said now. Yeah.
I was writing, when I was preparing somehow the program for next week, tomorrow night we're going to have the emission of a very interesting conscious school class in Marbella, and I'm going to read a little bit because it has a lot to do, if I find it. Otherwise I'm going to rely on my memory. And then maybe...
So while you look for the text, I just want to remind everyone that this afternoon, Sunday afternoon, with Laura, we will continue the series of original wounds.
Yes.
And today we are going to deepen into abandonment. And I'm not sure, so I'm going to ask now Laura live if we're going to do the dynamic.
I don't know either.
But we are going to deepen into this, the third original wound, that is abandonment, right? We work. No,
it's the second one. We're just going to go deeper into it. Now we have that wonderful little machine there, that camera, that theoretically would allow us to do the dynamic outdoors, which would be wonderful.
Great.
So, yes.
Okay.
Let's see how people...
I wanted to invite people to be with us this afternoon from 7, right?
7 to 9-ish.
Okay.
8:30, 9-ish. So I found the text, and it has to do with... The whole text was a bit longer, but the question that Alberto was asking in this class that we're going to show tomorrow evening is, if you're truly in a process of awakening, do you really need to be aware of it? As soon as someone wants to be aware of whether they're in a process of awakening, of inner evolution, of consciousness, as soon as someone wants to be aware, there's someone interfering with the process of awakening. And then he asked the same question using different words. He said, if you truly love someone, does it really matter to know what love is or not?
Wow.
So I think we can leave it there with that question. And we'll go deeper into that tomorrow evening, so please join. We will be sharing the whole program for the week shortly. You'll be able to find it on our YouTube channel. If you can't, ask us. Ask someone. We will be deepening into the subject of freedom, like we said, every day, from the conscious school perspective, from the beyond psychology perspective on Tuesday evening. We'll be having Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning different conscious school classes where different groups of mentors will develop it. Tomorrow, I believe it's Anthony and Gustavo from Barcelona. They'll be opening up the space. Tuesday it will be in Italian. I believe, I don't remember by whom, but if you want to watch it, you can watch it afterwards with subtitles on YouTube. And Wednesday it will be in English. We'll see who's the brave person to open up that space. And then Alberto will give 3 master classes, Thursday evening, Friday evening, and Saturday evening, on the subject of freedom, based upon which he already wrote his book, From Prison, From My Newfound Freedom. So please follow us this week. Thank you for being here with us this morning. If anyone wants to continue and join the retreat integration, please let us know on the chat right now, and we'll still have time to hook you up before they begin. Thank you very much, and we will see you hopefully this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Laura.
Fred. Thank you, everyone.